Hello and welcome to my channel. I am the Hurt Crafter. Today we're going to do a quick little video on how to do the knit and purl stitches in Tunisian crochet. This is specifically for my mom. So we'll just get started. What I have here is just a small starting piece. I chained, I don't know, 14, 15, something like that. I didn't really count. And I've done 2 rows of Tunisian simple stitch. And we will get started with the knit stitch first. So to make the knit stitch, we are going to insert our hook in between the 2 vertical bars of the stitch on the simple stitch. You can see you have a front bar and a back bar, and we're going to, as we would to do a simple stitch, we're going to put our hook under the front bar, but instead of yarning over and pulling through on the front, what we're going to do instead is, you can see the gap in between the stitches. We're going to insert our hook to the back through that gap, and we're going to pull through the stitch and pull our stitch up. So you can see it, instead of being like a front bar and a back bar, now it's sort of turned the stitch sideways so that it looks more like a knit stitch. And so we'll just go along the row and do that all the way down. You can see you go behind the front bar through the hole to the back and pull up your stitch, behind the front bar to the back, pull up your stitch, and we'll just continue all the way down the row. Behind the front bar to the back, pull up your loop, continuing all the way down the row. And we've got 2 simple stitches left. And then our last one is always the end. You have the 2 vertical bars at the end. You put your hook under both of them, and you yarn over and pull up the loop. And the return is exactly the same as it is for a simple stitch. You chain 1, and then you yarn over and pull through 2 all the rest of the way back. So we're almost finished. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, through 2, and through 2. So we've done 1 row of knit stitch. What I'll do is just do it. It's not as visible on the first row. So what I'll do is I will do a little speedy up version, and I'll do a couple more rows sped up, just so you can see as it grows how you can see the knit stitch come together. Okay, so now we have completed 3 rows of the Tunisian knit stitch. And next I'll show how to do the purl stitch. The knit stitch, as you can see, it wants to curl forward, and the purl stitch wants to curl backwards. So the nice thing is when you do ribbing on sweaters or what have you, it sort of cancels each other out a little bit, and you get less curl when you have combinations of knit and purl. So to do the purl stitch, you wrap the yarn around your hook, and if you're looking at your hook this way, you're wrapping it counterclockwise, but you just basically want to bring your yarn to the front. And some people will hold the yarn down here on their project. I just find it easier to let the hook hold it, so I wrap it around my hook, and then you put your hook through the front bar, or it'll be the left bar, since if it's easier to think of it that way. On these knit stitches, I didn't do a row of simple in between. And then you unwrap that and you wrap it again the other direction. You pull it through and you tighten the stitch. Wrap it forward, put your hook through, wrap it the other direction, pull up your loop, tighten the stitch. And you just go in this manner all the way across. So it feels like a lot of wrapping, but I find doing it this way to be much easier than trying to hold my yarn down on my project and still maneuver my hook and my yarn. I just let the hook do the work for me. And go across this way. And just make sure to tighten down the stitches in between, because otherwise you end up with a big mess. Did not get my hook wrapped that time. And at the end, we're just going to do our 2 sidebars like usual. We're going to chain 1 as usual, just a normal return pass. Pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, just repeating all the way back to the beginning of the row. Yarn over, pull through 2, 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 and yarn over and pull through our last 2. So there we have one row of Tunisian purl stitch. So we'll do the same thing. I will do 2 more rows to speed it up, and then we will do a little sample of ribbing. Okay, there, so as you can see now we have 3 rows of nothing but purl stitches, and if you can see the edge of it, the knit stitches curl this way and the purl stitches curl this way. So when you combine the two, they help make a flatter section of work. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put 2 rows of simple stitch in between, and then we will come back and work on the ribbing. Okay, so what we have here now is the waistband of a sweater that I've just started working on. And you can see that what I've got here is 2 knit stitches, 1 purl, 2 knit, 1 purl, 2 knit, 1 purl ribbing. And this has not been in any way, shape, or form blocked or ironed or anything, and you can see how relatively flat it lays. There's a little bit of a frontward curl to it because I've got 2 knits for every purl, but for the most part it stays flat, and once I've washed it and blocked it, it's going to be really staying nice and flat. So in order to do that, we have our little sample here, and like I said, I didn't really count the stitches, but we're going to do the same thing. To start off with, we're going to do 2 knits, so we're going to go underneath the front bar to the back, yarn over and pull through, underneath the front bar and to the back, yarn over and pull through. And then we need a purl stitch, so we wrap our yarn to the front of our hook and we go under the front bar, wrap it around the other way and pull it through, tighten it a little, and then back to 2 knit stitches. So front to back underneath that front bar, pull up a loop, front to back underneath the front bar, pull up a loop. For the purl, wrap your yarn to the front again, underneath the bar, wrap it around and pull through. And then again we're to the knit, so underneath that front bar to the back, pull up your loop, underneath the front bar to the back, pull up a loop, wrap for the purl, go under that bar, wrap it around the other way, pull the loop through, and we're going to underneath that bar to the back, pull up a loop, underneath the front bar to the back, pull up a loop, and we'll just finish our side like this. We chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2, 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 all the way back to the beginning of the row, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, 2, and the last 2. So you can see already the pattern of the ribbing starting to appear, but like with the knit stitch, it really shows after you've got a few rows done. So we'll do another row. We do under the front bar into the back, under that front bar into the back, wrap our hook, put it underneath the front of that purl stitch from the last row, wrap it around to the back, to the front, I mean. Yarn under the front to the back, pull up a loop, under the front bar to the back, pull up a loop, wrap the stitch under the stitch and wrap it the other way, and under the loop to the back, pull up your loop, under the loop to the back, pull up a loop, wrap your stitch, your needle, put it under that stitch, wrap it around, pull it through and tighten it, under that bar into the back, pull up a loop, under that bar to the back, pull up a loop, right at our side here, and we chain 1 and yarn over and pull through 2, back to the beginning of our row again. So that's what it looks like when we have 2 rows of the ribbing done, and you can see now it's starting to sort of show where it's like forward on the knit stitches and to the back on the purl stitches, and that's what sort of cuts the curl, is that you've got 1 stitch out of every 3 that's pulling towards the back rather than towards the front. And if we do just 1 more row, we should be able to see pretty well what it's going to look like. If I can just catch that loop. There we go. Yarn over, pull it through the stitch into the back. sometimes it's a little bit hard to get your needle through those purl stitches. The space there can get a little bit tight. I find that the type of needle that you're using, the crochet hook that you're using, excuse me, makes a big difference. This one I'm using here, the top is very rounded. It's not very pointy at all. But on this one, this interchangeable hook set that I have, it's I think the brand is Symphony. I don't know, I'd have to go look. You can see how much more pointy the end of it is, and it makes it just so much easier to get into those tight stitches. I love using these hooks to work on chain rows, etc., because it just makes it so much easier to get in between those loops of the stitches to where you need to be. So we're going to go front to back here again for the knit stitches. And then we're going to do our side. And here we chain one. And we yarn over and pull through two, all the rest of the way back. If you prefer, you can do any combination of the knits and purl stitches for ribbing, really. I like the look of this one with the two knits per purl. I have done one knit, one purl, one knit, one purl. And you can also do like 2 knits and 2 purls, but I find that the space where you have the purl stitches is larger, and when you have 2 purl stitches together, it just seems too large to me, that space, because you're pulling the yarn to the front and then to the back again in between the stitches. I think is why it makes the stitches so much larger. But anyway, I like this look the best, where you've got 2 knits, 1 purl, 2 knits, 1 purl, 2 knits, 1 purl. But it's all personal preference, and you can pick whatever combination suits you the best and suits your project the best. I hope everybody enjoyed, and please like, subscribe, and share. And I appreciate the time you spend watching, and thank you very much, and come back again.